Okay, so I'm just hopping on this video quick to tell you it literally takes 6 months to change your life. Like, the idea that this is true seems so absurd, but I promise you, it literally takes 6 months to change your life. 6 whole months, that's all it takes. And I'm gonna tell you exactly how to do that and exactly why that's true. So, first of all, when I say it takes 6 months to change your life, I don't mean money. I don't mean literally in 6 months' time, you're going to be living your dream life. You're going to be living your dream. You're going to succeed in every way possible. You're going to have everything you want. That's not what I mean, that your life will change in 6 months' time. I mean, you can fully change the trajectory of your life in 6 months. Like, if you are someone who I was literally 2 years ago, someone who parties all the time, goes to festivals, drinks, hangs out with their mates, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're young, there's nothing wrong with that. You're enjoying your life. That's cool. But if you're someone like that, by the end of that 6 months, you go all in, you try at something, you learn something, you adapt, you try and better yourself every day, improve yourself, learn, obviously depending on your goals, but for me, it was learning a skill and trying to monetize that skill and learning different things and improving my health by going to the gym and eating better. I changed the trajectory of my life in 6 months. Like, that person I was partying, going out, drinking, my trajectory of my life was that I got arrested. That was my trajectory of my life. I was that person who's just always going to be partying, taking drugs, drinking, getting arrested, getting in trouble. That was how my life was going. And in my head, there was no way that was changing, especially when I got arrested. I thought that was my life. That is what's going to happen. That's what God has given me. And that's just how it's going. And then I got arrested and it all changed. And I was like, you know what? I can literally, and it was watching a video from someone saying that you can change the trajectory of your life in a few months. And from watching that video, I did, and I have changed my life. And that's what I'm hoping from this video. Someone in my position can watch this video and the same thing can happen to them. And the way I'm going to explain how you do this. So now, obviously, I'm no professional, if you want to say. I'm no expert in business and everything like this, but I know shit. I know a lot of shit. I've been through a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things. I've made a lot of money. And I've got a lot more money to make and a lot more success to have. But something that I am a professional in is changing my trajectory, changing my life. And what happened, I'm going to just tell you the story of how I did this, was I got arrested. I got in trouble. I was hanging around with wrong people. At the time, I thought they were nice people. They were my friends. I was living my life. And then that day happened. And then I kind of thought, this ain't how I want my life to be. I don't want my life to end this way. I don't want to be known as the guy partying and wasting his life and doing all these things. And don't get me wrong, it was fun. It was really fun. But that's not how I wanted to live my life. Deep inside me, I didn't want to live my life like that. And some people have that. Some people have that instinct deep inside of them that they were always made for something special. Some people don't, and some people don't have that inside of them, and that's why they live just ordinary lives. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. Everyone's different. But for me, I knew I always had that thing inside of me, and that thing really woke up that day that I got arrested. It really kind of hit me, and that was because it was my rock bottom. I've always said it's easier to bounce back when you hit rock bottom. Like, you have something to bounce back from. You can't go any lower than what happened. You know what I mean? It could be a family member dying. It could be, I don't know, you're unhealthy, you're fat, you're obese, you get arrested, you get in trouble, I don't know, whatever your lowest point in life is, you have something to bounce back from. And the way I describe it is, imagine throwing a bouncy ball and you're expecting it to bounce without it hitting the floor. You want it to bounce back up without it hitting the floor. I mean, it's near enough impossible. Yeah, some lucky circumstances, some out of this world fucking physics can make that happen. But if it hits that floor, it's going to bounce back. It's going to bounce straight back up. And if you have a duff ball, if the bouncy ball isn't bouncy, it's not going to bounce back up. And that's just what some people are. Some people are that bouncy ball who bounce back up and go and achieve their goals. And some people are just that duff ball that doesn't bounce and it's not made to be a bouncy ball, and they just stay at the bottom. And that's cool. If that's you, that's you. I think you are born with something inside of you. Maybe not born, but brought up with it by your parents, the people you hang around with. Just something inside of you tells you you're made for more. Now, going back to saying how you do this, when you hit that rock bottom, or don't aim to hit that rock bottom, but if you have hit rock bottom and you're watching this video, then this is how you do it. If you haven't hit that rock bottom, aim to be that ordinary out of this world ball that bounces back, because you can still do it. You don't have to hit rock bottom. It's just, it's a lot easier to see growth when you're at the bottom because you have nothing to lose. But first of all, I would say, learn what you enjoy in your life. But before that, try and change, because obviously what you enjoy in life at the point you're in, for me, the only experience I can say is for myself, it was partying, it was drinking, taking drugs, doing all these things, staying out late. That's what I enjoyed. So I had to change myself first. And that started with the gym, eating healthier, dropping the people I hang around with, because I knew they weren't my true friends. They weren't the people who I want to live my life with. Drop them, eat healthy, start going gym, start meditating, and start journaling your thoughts every day. And that's your number one step, is doing that. Try and improve yourself. Don't strive for any goal. Don't try and create a business, because it's not going to work, because you don't even know who you are yourself. Start going to the gym, or just being healthy. Start eating healthier, eating cleaner. Free your mind. Stop vaping and smoking and drinking, and meditate and read and journal every day. Journal your thoughts. If you have a bad day, if you have a bad gym session, if you don't feel like reading your book, write it down. Write down why that happened, how you can avoid it, and every day do that. And eventually you will learn more about yourself. You'll learn more of what you enjoy, what you're good at, what you're bad at, and what you want to do. And then with that, you start learning your goals. You start to realize, this is what I want my life to look like. This is what I want my life to be in 5 years. Maybe it's moving country. Maybe it's setting up a business. Maybe it's having a family. You realize what your goals are. And then you start learning more about your goals and what you want your future life to be. And then every day you strive for that. And within 6 months, you've gone from rock bottom to the end of the 6 months to being the healthiest you've ever been, the cleanest you've ever been, the best mindset you've ever been, the most dedicated, disciplined, motivated person you've ever been, striving for your dream life. From that to the end of those 6 months, you've changed. That whole trajectory of your life has changed. A total different path for what your life's going to be in 5-10 years time. And that is just the raw basics of how you do it. You just drop all the bad things around you and focus by improving every day. And when you do that, when you feel like you understand yourself a bit more, you start learning about your goals. You start learning about what you want your life to be like. Because you can't figure out a goal if you don't know yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, you're just lying to yourself for what you want your life to be from social media or from friends around you and things like this. Because people say they want the cars, they want the money, they want the glam, they want to be dripped out in designer clothes, they want to go on holiday whenever they want to be free, they want to make their parents proud, but they don't want to do the work that's involved in that. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But that means you don't want your life to be like that, because you don't want to do the work to get there. You want to just be given it. So that's not going to make you happy. So you need to truly figure out what you want your goals to be, what you want your dream life to be, and figure out if the path to get there is what you want to do, and go do it. And maybe you figure out a few weeks down the line, a few months down the line, you don't like it, you try something else, you try a different goal. But along that whole journey, you're trying things, you're learning about yourself, and you're adapting and getting closer to your dream life. And that is how you change your life in 6 months. Not by getting £10 million within 6 months. That's not what I mean by this video. This video is understanding yourself and changing your life in 6 months, changing the way you see your future life, your future self in 6 months, because that is worth more than money. Knowing who you are, knowing what your life's going to look like, knowing your dreams is worth a lot more than money, because that's what makes you happy. That's what makes you wake up every day and strive. So I hope you've watched this video and you've understood what you have to do, and you've understood that you can honestly do whatever you want. I don't mean go in my path and create a business and do all that because it's stressful, but that's what I enjoy. But it could be anything. It could be starting a family. It could be finding a girlfriend. It could be traveling, whatever. Truly find who you are, find yourself, and figure out your goals. And I promise you, your life, your future self will appreciate you so much more, and your life will just change. Those 6 months are going to be the best, biggest, most important 6 months of your life because you changed. And I promise you, you're not going to regret it. So I hope you've watched this video and you've understood more about how you do it, about how you become successful. Now, success ain't money. Success is your dream life. What you want your life to be like, that is your success. So chase that. Chase that feeling, chase that desire, and wake up every fucking morning wanting that life. And I promise you, it's going to come to you. You just have to be patient.